DORK Podcast with Rich Keefe. It's the DORK Podcast. Ryan Davis. It's the DORK Podcast. Hashtag. It's the hashtag DORK Podcast.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Hashtag Dork. My name is Rich Keefe, joined as always by Rhaenys Von Dainies. All hail the king of ginger ale. It's Ryan Davey. Davey, how are you?
I'll tell you what, Richard, I'm great. I'm great. You know why?
Why's that?
It's about fucking time.
Something happened.
You know?
Something happened. People want something to happen, and something happened in this episode.
Oh, you got
episode 4, season 2, House of the Dragon. It'll be all spoilers for our House of the Dragon recaps. And holy mackerel, I'll tell you, this to me, best House of the Dragon episode that we've seen in a season and a half. And even though I am Mr. Recency Bias, I think it's a top 10 Game of Thrones episode ever.
It might be like when this, and this goes to show you, like when we were doing this years ago, like at its peak, this is as good as television gets.
Yep.
And this is fucking, that was awesome.
This was insane. And even halfway through the episode, it was a lot of buildup still, but I liked where it was going. I like kind of like the conversations that certain characters were having. We'll get into that. But then as soon as they like open up the gates to being like, oh, we're going to get a dragon rumble and we're going to get it in this episode. There's enough time. We're going to get it in this episode. The episode title, at least according to one of the sites, and I know a lot of people take shots at it. So on the online, it's like 3 different things and then they finally settle on one. But A Dance of Dragons is, I believe, the title of this episode, as it should be. And on the one hand, I'm with you. Like it's such an amazing episode, but it's also brutal and classic Game of Thrones, because I would say Rhaenys was the best character in a season and a half. I think she's probably the one that I thought was like the most badass, the one I was rooting for the most. Like almost regardless of what side she chose, I was probably going to be on that side. And her dragon was sick. She was just like, her relationship with her husband, we'll dig into that here in a second too. But like everything about her was just so cool. And then she's like, send me. She goes in there. She's kicking ass, holding her own for a while. And then ultimately fucking dies, and a badass death.
And again, like you said, a character that you couldn't really hate. Like you could make an argument that you hate this character for this reason. Rhaenys is that character. No one hated that character. I think you said just an absolute badass, like strong woman.
Yeah.
In a healthy relationship with her husband for the most part. And just like someone you were rooting for.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, one of the biggest, when push came to shove and you knew you were eventually going to get this like Targaryen civil war, when you were going back and forth between Rhaenyra's team and really like Alicent's team.
Yeah.
You're like, all right, one of the big check marks for Rhaenyra's team is this combination, is the fucking dragon melees with Rhaenys, her experience, like, and you saw her kind of trying to lead that little small council a little bit too. And then you're like, her dragon's fucking kick ass. Like if that dragon had one more dragon with her, not even that big, just enough to run interference, even though it's way smaller than Vhagar. Like Vhagar's a unit. And
I love that shot where you see Vhagar flying and then Meleys going head on, and like the size difference, because they're supposed to be like going like playing a game of chicken, and like just the size, it's like twice the size. Well, that was like Meleys is one of the bigger ones, right?
Yeah. I think it's one of the bigger ones that we've seen. Well, you saw it at the end of season 1, like what a not fair fight that was, when it was was that Luke's dragon, which was like iPod mini.
It's like a little baby,
a little piece of shit, and he got like eaten up pretty good. But like at first you're like, you see Aegon on his dragon Sunfire, which is also not that big of a hoss. He's like probably like an average dragon.
He gets all sauced up before he goes out too. Bad idea.
Don't drink and drive, folks. Whether it's
not
a car,
drinking fly dragons,
a motorcycle, a boat, a dragon.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
He had a few Chardonnays.
What of it? Which was dumb. He looked stupid in his little helmet. Like you knew he wasn't going to be. Now I was surprised he died. Were you surprised that fucking Aegon met his end?
We were talking about this. Like the other. I love about this show is nobody's off the hook.
Oh hell no.
Anyone could go at any time. And I'm glad it wasn't a child again. But
they did that
but
episode 1.
I love the build up to that where like Aemon basically big dicks him at the table. He's like, no, we got it. No, don't need you. Like Chris and Cole and I have been talking. You're good.
Oh man, just
Dude,
insulting in front of everybody, all the people there. Council.
He just goes hammer out on him.
Bonk.
Just right on the tables. Be like, nope, this is how we're playing this game. And he knew he was. And I gotta believe that he was baiting him into that.
Yep, I think Aemon has executed his plan perfectly to this point. And I think a lot of it had to do with the last 2 episodes where I think Aemon was more on Aegon's side for a while. I don't even know if Aemon wanted control, but Aegon like insulted him. Aegon made fun of him for being with like the old hooker, and he was like, "Oh, look at this little guy here," and he's like, "Okay, all right, you can shit on me. That's fine.
That's fine."
But like to go to that end, like fucking to want him to die,
yeah.
But it's a really good for the show and for the characters conversation between Aegon and Allison, his mom.
Yes.
When she's like, "Oh, just because you're king, like you think you're like this smart guy or whatever," and he's like, "Well, what do you want me to do?" She's like, "Nothing. Do nothing.
Do nothing.
Do nothing. You'd still be
Listen.
king if you did nothing." Yeah. She's like so pissed that he didn't listen to the dad, obviously. So Otto Hightower got sent packing. But now she's like, "Just do nothing. You don't need to do anything." And he's like, "What's that, Mom? Do nothing? I'm gonna go to war. I'm gonna take my dragon and go to the battle.
I'm gonna put on my costume and I'm gonna head out there and I'm gonna show you what a big boy can do."
I'm gonna get all sauced up, put on my little hat, and get out.
And it was when they're the Sunfire and Meleys were tangled up, and you saw Vhagar going towards him, like, "Oh, he's gonna get 2 for 1 here."
Yeah. You're like, "There's."
I thought it was gonna be 1 shot, but fucking Rhaenys going back that one more time, she was clear. I think she had to though.
She did like enough damage. I was like, she can leave and kind of report. I'm sitting there. I'm like, just get out of there.
And that's what the last time I'm like, just go. And you see her turn around. You're like,
see her face too. And she's like, attack. And what I love too is like you see the 2 kids scream at their dragon.
Yeah.
She just whispers to him or her. Just whispers.
And he was like looking back at her the whole time. Yeah.
Then he got his neck chomped on.
Oh, what a good way to. And she just kind of lets go. And just like, what a way to go.
Down with him.
Yep.
Man, she's a G.
So cool.
She's an absolute G of all the characters in this whole show. And let's go back to the conversation she had with her husband, where she grabs that guy, Alan. Was it Alan or Alec?
Alan.
Alan grabs him by his face. And she's like, I wrote this down. She said, "Who'd ever thought you'd be so comely?" Comely?
That's yeah.
Does that mean what I think it means?
No, that's in your language, yes, but that does not mean what you think it means. Yeah.
You told him you're so comely. And I was like, oh my God.
The first time I heard that word is when we were reading the Scarlet Letter in high school. And I was like, ugh.
So it does mean what I think it means.
No, it means just like handsome, like beautiful. Like it just, yeah.
I'm gonna start using that more. I think it might throw people off.
I think we should start when referring to Steelix Food, the comeliest of 2024 when we do the dorkies.
Hey, who do you think was the most comely this year?
The comeliest actress.
Had to be Glenn Powell.
He's running away with it right now, huh?
Glenn Powell is definitely comely. Like if you were to describe someone as comely, and I will.
We in my household, we were watching a commercial for Twisters.
Yeah.
And I was like, this looks like complete dog shit. Oh, fire nados. And my wife looks at me, she goes, "I will see anything that man is in."
Correct.
I was like, I get it. Can't even be mad at it.
And hopefully one day it is me. You're like, all right, that's enough. That's too much. But
he is comely as well.
He's super comely. Like, and so was Alan. And so and at first, like, it's so I'm like, all right, that's weird. Like, she's just like shouting this guy out and being like, "Hey, this is the guy that saved your life."
Yeah.
But then he's like, so then she has this confrontation with him, and she's like, "Oh, your mother must have been really beautiful," is what she says. Mm-hmm. So, are we supposed to know right now who the mom is?
Is that now? Are she alluding to the fact that like, and then she starts talking to her husband, Balin, about
Yes,
like
I'm guessing that's the dad.
about like that's not his fault, meaning like he's the dad, like that's his son.
Meaning 100%. Yeah, she's like, I'm not blaming Alan, and basically
Yeah.
we'll talk about this shit later, kind
Yeah.
of thing.
But that's like the sailor who, and that's his
So
son.
who is he hooking up with? Like that's I don't think we're supposed to. Maybe Shime knows from the books. I mean, I assume he does, but like I have no idea, right?
I had no idea either. No, I just assumed from that conversation, she's like, your mother must have been very beautiful. It's like, oh, not your father must have been handsome because I know what your father looks like.
I've been with him a few times.
Yeah,
back and forth again. But yeah, I mean this episode really is all about the dragon fights and the power play. And there's also a moment where you think maybe Cole got. You know, Cole goes down hard.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he's getting a little too big for his britches. I think we
that
talked
was
about last week. He's a pain in the ass, that guy.
Sobering.
Yeah.
Whereas like that plan worked out for him, but I love how Aemon was like, nah, let's see how this goes.
Yep.
Like I'm supposed to go right now, but let's see what happens here.
That was a cool scene where he's like, hey, Vhagar, not yet. And Vagar's like pissed. He's like,
yeah.
Yeah. Let me know when I can go play with this shit and light everything on fire. Oh, I think they lost a lot of good men that day on both sides.
Yeah, a lot of good men on both sides went down. And I think that's like
torched.
Kristen Cole has had such success in all of this stuff that to finally, even though they probably won that one, that was expensive.
Oh yeah, they're gonna be hearing about that at the old small councils on both sides.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Well, now, but I love this now because now that was episode 4, right? Yep. Now we're fucking square one again.
There's no king.
There's no king.
So
no heir other than Rhaenyra.
Yeah, did Aegon name an heir? Because this also goes back to as morbid as it was when the son died, the baby son died in the first episode. That's obviously what that's for.
I don't think he has one now.
I don't think he has an heir either. And then so it's like, all right, where do you go from here? Is it like,
but the wild card is Daemon.
Well, Daemon's making a play for it. I think that's going to be next week. I think Daemon's making a full play. And you got to, how many nights do you think you could survive in Harrenhal? Because that place is clearly haunted.
And it's clearly fucking with him, right? Yeah. And I love, was it Alice, the witch who lives there? I told you she was up to some shit. I told you that.
So here's the thing. Here's a rule that I live by. One, don't drink and fly dragons. But two, a close second would be, this applies to everybody, right? Not just if you're in Westeros. If you're in a strange place, let's say you're not familiar, you're not comfortable with the place, and you come across a person who you immediately kind of, in your mind, say, I don't really trust this person. And they say the words, here, have a drink.
Drink this.
Do not drink this.
Don't drink that thing.
Don't drink the thing. And you might be a little bit better off.
And if I wanted to get ballsy about it, I would say, you drink this first. You tell me how it is. You take a sip.
Yep.
Out of this cup right here.
Right here. The one that you just handed me.
Yep. Handed him. You take a sip.
Something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of enjoy, even though I'm very much on Rhaenyra's side more than Alicent's side, I do love when news of Harrenhal got to like the Hightower side. Like they're all like, let him fuck about there. Like they're like, there's nothing there. Like Clubfoot's like, dude, there's nothing, like that's a worse off place than me.
Yeah, the place sucks. Yeah,
go ahead.
What he said, that place is more crippled than I am. Is what he actually said.
I think it's what he said. Yeah. And they're all like, let him chase his tail there.
Like, and he's like, I know there's no money there because I control the money.
Yeah,
I know there's no money there.
Yeah, there's nothing doing.
Yeah, which is great too, because that was supposed to be like the centerpiece of this whole thing. Like they were supposed to go to war for that place because it was like so centrally located, and then they're just like, no, that's a piece of shit. It's a real piece of shit.
It's an absolute piece of shit. It's a giant. Yeah. It is the biggest castle.
Yes,
you learned, but it's a bit of a fixer upper. I also love when he's like, you're with the Blackwoods or whatever. He's like, so what do you want? He's like, you summoned me.
You called me.
Of course I did.
Well, I think that Alice is just like fucking with him at this point, right? Yeah. They're trying to drive him crazy because he's the whole point. And I was watching a little bit. I was a little late to this because I was watching like kind of like the thing at the end. I just
pieces
of it, and one of the writers was talking about how like basically Daemon's literally like chasing ghosts right now, like people from his past that he's trying to like reconcile with in order to like move forward, and how he's equal parts like villain and hero in this story. And that's what makes him like compelling.
I mean, he's a wild card at this point because he's gonna go rogue. Do you think Rhaenyra at this point is like completely prepared for him though to go rogue? Like, I don't think she's gonna be surprised by it. Do you?
No, I think they're waiting for him to do that.
Yeah,
because now that Aegon's gone,
man,
now it's the two of them, right? Because he has no heir, and unless Aemon steps up.
So is that the route they go?
It's like Aemon. It's going to be Aemon, Daemon, and Rhaenyra now are going for it.
Yeah, but like at least before Aegon was the one in like King's Landing, it was literally sitting there. So now I'm trying to think back because we lost a lot of kings and queens along the way in Game of Thrones. I'm trying to think if she were to go, does the hand of the king fucking Sir Criston Cole, is he like the acting king, or like does Allison get bumped down? And if Allison does, she's gonna bring Otto right back in the
fold. Yep. So that's going to be a discussion between her and her son, and I think Aemon is going to be like, no, you go in your room and put your stones on your belly or whatever.
Oh,
what was that? What was that?
Plan B.
Was that what that was?
I think it was because in the beginning of like, how they do like the previously on, and they always show you stuff that you're supposed to like. One of the quick scenes they showed was Sir Criston Cole just like plowing out Allison, and so then she's like, "Yeah, I need this for like a friend of mine," and he's like, "Yeah, all right. Well, tell your friend like there might be
pretty hard on the gut."
She's like, yeah, no, I'll keep a close eye.
I'll let her know for sure. Yeah,
like, just fucking, it sucks, and you're gonna take it, aren't you? She's like, yep.
Yeah.
But anyway, so she takes that. So that's my guess,
Mm-hmm.
because at least before she could pretend that like all of Viserys' kids were somebody else's kids. Same with Rhaenyra. Like, I don't think it really matters. Although they might be. I think the white-haired kids clearly
the hair did give away.
Yeah, they actually
give away. Yeah,
they actually are. But now she's got like nobody to sort of pin that off on, so she takes it. But then important, I would say, is that Clubfoot comes in and he's like, how's it going? She's like, good. And he like looks down at the thing. He's like, you must really miss Sir Criston Cole. She's like, yeah, he's hand of the king, and that's why I miss him. There's no other reason to miss him.
I couldn't miss him for any other reason than that. Yeah, he's doing a great job.
He's cooking.
Proud of him,
as always.
Of course.
I did like at the beginning of this episode too. We talked about in episode 3, maybe the MVP of the whole thing was Sir Simon Strong. The guy, when he's like, David's like, I'm taking Harrenhal, and he's like, all right,
whatever, dude.
Get the keys. Like throws it.
Yeah,
this place is yours.
What the fuck do I care? Yeah.
And then you get the little Tully kid, right? Because the other Tully, remember the other Tully, like the older Tully had like the shits or whatever. They couldn't get off the pot.
No, he was shitting. He was old. He's like old and decrepit. Like he can't. He's just like a vegetable, and he's like, yeah, he's right. He's waking dream or something, and he's like, you want to put a down pillow over his face and speed this up a little bit?
An ass.
And the kid was like, what? He's like, are you permitted to speak for your house? He's like, no, that's not how we do it. He's like, get the fuck out of here. I don't need you. I need decision makers. I need actors.
He's got the little Tully shield on his chest, which is a fish. So obviously in Game of Thrones, they have some pretty badass ones, right? Like the Starks have the wolf, Targaryens have a dragon, Lannisters have a lion. If you were cooking up
who's it? The bear. Who's the Mormonts? The
Mormonts of the bear. The Baratheons have like a deer, like a big like
deer, it's like a stag. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a few other ones. Oh,
you asking what my house sigil would be?
Yeah, what would you? I think was it the Greyjoys? Did they have who had the octopus? Was it the Greyjoys?
That's the Greyjoys.
They were like the
Kraken,
a sea like creature. Yeah. How's Dave? Because I was thinking about this. Like, how's Keith? I think it all kind of depends, because I think what I would do is maybe like almost create one where it's like a cryptid of sorts.
Oh, you would just be like a cryptid.
Right, sure. So people are like, "Oh, they have those fucking things." Like, yeah, they have these fucking things. Like, we survived these things.
Or you'd be like a Wendigo or something.
Oh, a Wendigo would be good, or like a Mothman, or like a Chupacabra, a Bigfoot, a Yeti, a Jersey Devil.
A Jersey Devil, yeah,
a Squonk.
What is a Squonk again?
You don't want to be a Squonk. Squonks are actually like the ugliest creatures of all time. Squonks are like they're sad sacks. Like their whole thing is they're sad. You don't want to be a Squonk.
You don't. You're just like like no,
you don't want to be a Squonk. You got a Squonk on your chest. Nobody's taking you seriously. But the fact that somebody has a dragon, you can't be like, Oh, you have a dragon? We have a fish. We have a bass.
Trout.
We have,
Yeah,
a trout. We have
great.
lake trout. You're like, no,
Yeah.
you got to come up with something better than that.
Mine would be a fox, I believe.
Fox. A fox is a really good one. Jason
Mhm.
in the chat's got a good one. I think an owl. Owls are legit.
Owls are legit.
Yeah.
So I think that would be a little too on the nose for me,
Yeah.
being even the Romans, the Greeks. I'll do it before you even do it. But
Steve is right. The Boltons had like a flayed.
oh
man.
yeah,
They're so fucked up. The Boltons.
they're fucked up. Yeah,
Oh,
that's
God.
fucked.
They're so fucked.
I thought there were monsters on the world.
I thought I was gonna die. My first thought was, I don't have to go to work tomorrow.
All those guys getting burned in a field. Their first thought, now that they
Mhm.
know there's monsters on the world, is they didn't have to go to work
I
tomorrow.
don't have to go to work tomorrow. But yeah, the Tullies is bad. Like, just like a dead fish. Rough.
Yeah, that's too bad.
You're not recruiting a lot of people to your side, I don't think.
Or it's like, what's the high towers is just like a tower. Like that's pretty on the nose.
Yeah. And they're
What was
about to get wiped off the face of the earth because, like we've said all the time, you don't hear about the high towers in Game of Thrones at all. So Otto and Allison are going to go out in some fiery death, and then we're never going to hear their name again.
Never again. So I'm looking at let's see here.
This is such a cool lore. Like, and I never even read the books, but like you go and look up like these family trees and like these different like logos and flags.
I'm looking at them right now.
What's House Dondarrion? Because Beric Dondarrion was
Dondarrions. Yeah. Let's see.
I think it was like
Dondarrions.
Black,
like open image in new tab. Let me see. The Dondarrions are
like
House Florent. House Florent is the fox, by the way. So I would be
Florent. That's nice.
Baelish is like a bird, right?
Yeah.
I don't see the Dondarrions, and I don't see it.
Let me pull it up here. Let's see. I don't know where it is. Game of Thrones.
Yeah, the Tullies is the worst.
Tully's stinks out loud. Yeah.
Swift is a rooster. I see a boar for the. Yeah, Bolton's is pretty awesome.
Borometer.
Martell's is cool too with the snake. Is that a snake?
Oh yeah. Well, they're the sand snakes, right?
Yeah.
So that makes sense. Yeah, there's like a bunch of them, but there's one thing that always jumps out to me.
Oh, Dondarrion's like lightning.
See, that's pretty good. It makes sense.
Black and purple with lightning.
Yeah, black. I knew it was black and purple because they light their swords on fire, for Christ's sake. So you know it's gonna be
for crying out loud. It's pretty sweet. Did you do this? Yeah.
Here's this one. So if you're watching on YouTube, we just pulled up a few. So yeah, you got like
I got them all right here. These are some good ones. Yeah.
Bird. What's that one with just the sun?
The sun. That's Tarth is the one that has the.
Okay.
No, that one is what's the unbent, unbroken. The Karstarks is like a sun.
Oh, the Karstarks. Yeah, you always hear about the Karstarks.
Yeah. Let's see.
There's like a definitive like top group. Like
there's one here. It's House Went.
George Went.
And then Caleb Went, but it's
Caleb Went. George Went.
Sworn to Tully.
That's
Caleb
pretty good.
Went. Yeah.
Caleb Went. Oh, here we go. Actually, I have a better one. I'm gonna pull this one up. If you're just joining us now, we are obviously very excited about this episode, but we're taking a little bit of a detour because started talking about logos.
Start talking about logos here. Yeah, mine House Florent would probably be my go-to.
I think that's pretty good. Where's this one?
Kerwin is a axe. That's a good one. Yeah, I think this.
Is that?
I have different ones too. No, yeah, same idea. Yeah, but still.
All right, let's see.
The Cleganes is pretty awesome.
Oh, the Cleganes. Yeah,
the towns. Sense. Yeah. The
Ham.
Wentz, is that bats? I think you don't have the Wentz on yours.
I don't know if I have the Wentz on mine.
The Greyjoys is pretty awesome though.
How some of them go with just like logos, and then others are like we have full on animals. I think you need a mascot. Like I think I'd feel a lot better about it if I had like a full on mascot.
And again, some of these houses like we don't see ever.
No, that's pretty like that's cool. Like because obviously with the prequel, I feel like overall there has to be less stakes, right? Because ultimately you know how certain things are going to go and how certain things are going to end. But as far as that's concerned, tonight's episode is still like as good as you're gonna get. Like that was edge of your seat stuff because you don't know when these people are gonna go. You know, eventually they're gonna go, but
No,
you're not
yeah.
sure when and how. And that was sick. So let's see. So do we get a follow up to that Alan storyline? I'm curious because now that Rhaenys is gone, R.I.P. Pick of the pod to Rhaenys, my favorite characters in a year and a half of the show. She's gone. She very specifically had that conversation with her husband, and now her husband in the next episode or the one after that is obviously going to be in mourning about her. But I feel like a couple things are going to have to happen. He's probably going to have a follow up with Alan. Otherwise, why even bring that up? And then maybe he seeks out the mother of Alan at some point too.
Yeah. Oh, the other thing too is that like Rhaenys was kind of keeping him from getting back on the boat, and now she can't tell him not to do. And he's got to hit fuck it now and just hit the ships.
Yeah, he's in fuck it mode and then some.
Yeah,
He's gonna be all over that. I also was gonna ask this question before the dragon battle popped off. Every week we kind of ask this question: if you were right now looking at the two small councils, which one has their shit more together?
I love the line, and I meant to bring it up earlier, where Rhaenyra says, like, don't mistake my caution for weakness. So there's those who believe my caution is weakness. And I think that, again, I love this idea that, like, I'm going to pursue this and see if there's any other way to not do this. And she has this whole great talk where she talks about Viserys telling her, like, he reigned in peace for how many, there's been peace this long, and he held it together, and I'm not going to throw that away.
Yeah.
And then she starts telling her son, it's like
peace. Yeah.
Yeah. And she's like, I'm not going to throw this away because I'm going to tell you why I'm doing this. She explains it to her son that, like, this is something bigger.
Yeah.
Like, I'm meant to unite these people. I'm not meant to divide anybody.
Yep.
You know, and then there was somebody who in one of the councils said, or maybe it was Alicent, that's like, people have chosen the side they're going to choose, and that's it. There's no,
yeah.
So I forget your original question at this point, though.
No, just like which side?
Which council?
Together, because like, I think we've talked about how like Alicent and Rhaenyra are both probably looking at people like, what the fuck? But I feel like with Rhaenyra, it's different because Alicent is trying in a way to be the puppet master, but she's kind of lost that, especially when her dad Otto got booted out of there.
Yeah.
So she's really kind of on the sidelines. Whereas Rhaenyra is in charge, but her people are questioning her shit because she's not just straight up telling everybody what's going on. Even her kids calling her out but like, to her credit, she came back and wasn't like, don't worry about where I was. She was like, no, I went to King's Landing. I met with Alicent. I wanted to make sure that war was like the last thing. And like, it's on. Like,
it's on. She told me it was too late. So here we go. Like, I tried to reason with her.
Yep.
And that's out the window. So fuck it.
But even Alicent is still like, her head's still spinning. Like, she's asking about where all these books are. Like, she's like, even Clubfoot's like, you starting to second guess like the thing, and she's like, doesn't matter.
I think she's looking for that story he's talking about, and it's not. I don't think it's written down. I think it's passed down from heir to heir. Like, that's how you
down yet, right? Isn't it? Fucking Tully's gonna write it down, and
he writes it down. Yeah.
Well, the Song of Ice and Fire, which is cool because it's like a thread throughout all of this stuff that we've seen. But this episode also was great too because you had the mother-son conversations, right? Alicent and Aegon, their last conversation ever. And then you have Rhaenyra and Jace. And Jace is like, where the fuck are you going? Like, we're fighting for you. Like, let us fight. And then she just gives him this whole Song of Ice and Fire thing. So I think overall, even though they have a couple of guys on their council that are just obnoxious, like that guy, Sir Aegon, or no, not Aegon. It can't be Aegon. It's Sir Alfred.
Yeah,
he's just like he's
talking
asshole.
Shit.
Yeah, like, dude, get out of here.
Shut up. And then Balin comes in and is just like, shut up.
Yeah, he's like, oh yeah, my bad. Like, oh god. Like, almost like, I know you need small council, you need people with information, and you need like these little family ties, but it seems like they got so many people that like are just not really contributing to the group right now.
Well, that's what, like, Aegon was like, you're boring me. Like, this is boring. I'm bored now. Right. And they're talking about things that he should kind of care about, but
he should probably care about all of it. I mean, he's the king.
Yeah.
Oh, so now Another switch. Remember I said what the name of the episode was? According to Wikipedia, it is now The Red Dragon and the Gold instead of what I say, a
Dance of Dragons, Dragon Dance or something. Yeah.
Just popping off all over the place. So I don't know if that's the case or not, but that's got updated on the Wikipedia. For some reason, most shows, I feel like the night the episode is on, say the name of the episode, but I feel like HBO doesn't even do that. Like
they don't do that. No, I think it's they're just trying to keep people from guessing.
Yeah, maybe.
You know?
Maybe. I did really like the guy that Sir Kristen Cole had to put to death via the sword. So there's that little battle, and they're like, "Hey, everybody! Like, if you raise your banner for Aegon, like you're good to go. If not, like you're gonna meet your death." And the guy's like, "Fuck you,
fuck you, dickhead!" Like that. I think I would like to think that if I know, no matter what I do, I'm getting beheaded. If I'm the leader of a crew and like someone, a hostile takeover, and I'm gonna die anyway.
Yeah,
like I'm gonna be, dude, fuck you. Like you're gonna kill me anyway. Like if I don't like if I do this now, you're gonna see this as a sign of weakness and kill me. Or if I just stand here and spit on your shoe, like you're gonna kill me. And it's like, dude, just fuck you. Just do what you're gonna do.
It is true. It's like in the original Thrones. Remember when that's when some of the guys that were on Daenerys' side were like, "Oh shit, she's a lot colder than we thought." It was when like they're like, "Hey, do you pick my side?" And they're like, "No," and she's like, "All right, Jakaris," and then fucking lit them up. And they were like, "Jesus Christ!"
Yeah,
but yeah. So I was actually thinking about that tonight too. Is like when you're watching that, and I guess if you're the leader, it's a little bit different. If you're not the leader, do you do one of those things where you're like, "All right, I'm going to survive the day, but then I'm going to fucking like when I get a chance, I'm going to take out as many of you as I can."
Yeah, I think that's the play in all of this is like, all right, I just got to get through this and then we'll figure it out, you know? But if you're the leader, you know you're going to fucking die. And again, I would like to think that I would be like, dude, fuck you. But like, obviously, like, I'm not tough. Like, I'm not, that's not going to go that way. You know what I mean?
No.
I'm going to be like, I got a wife and kids. I want to see them again. You know,
please don't.
Yeah. I'm gonna chicken out in a big way. But in my mind,
like you're like this is actually a good death or whatever, and he's like yours ain't far off. He's like, right to the end. I was like, I love that.
It's like in Friday when Smokey's like, you know, Debo come around, he'd be like, "Shut the fuck up," and I'd be quiet. But when he leave, I'd be talking again.
I gotta get.
I got mind control over Debo.
Talking that shit. Yep. Oh, it's great. Yeah, so there's also a line in there where they even say, like early on in the episode, when I think the Aemond and like the Hightower group is talking about how Daemon, like the Harrenhal, will drive him to madness, which clearly that is
it absolutely is.
Let's see. Yeah, you got the witch character, a good one. She played a big factor. I'm sure she will going forward as well. What else? Oh, so there was the whole thing about clearly like early on, and when Aegon got kind of like, you know, put in the corner during his little round table thing, Aemond and Kristen Cole were very much on the same page. Those guys are not on the same page. Cole already has a beef with Allison's brother, right? Like, because he was like, "What are you doing? Where are we going?" Gwaine. So, like, Kristen Cole right now, and I don't think Allison likes him as much as she did. The brothers never really liked him. He had a thing with Aemond. He's technically the hand of the king who does not exist anymore.
Right.
So what's up? What's next for Cole?
Well, so he just got her son killed. He's going to pin that on him, even though that had nothing to do with him. Like that wasn't the plan, but that's gonna fall on him though.
So I'm guessing next episode we get a new king/queen in like interim, and we're gonna get a new hand, right? Like,
and I would not be surprised if Aemond was like turns on Cole and was like, no, that was his idea to have Aegon come out. That was his idea. Like pin it on him.
Yeah, right. So then Allison is gonna have to be like, who do I believe?
Between
the two of them. Yeah, there could be that. Also, there was an interesting line at the Rhaenyra round table when Rhaenys was like talking, and then the one guy, might have been Alfred, was like, "You're not even like hand of the queen or whatever." So she's never hired. She's never appointed a hand of the queen.
No, but the White Worm was listening the whole time.
Dude, White Worm's good. White Worm knows all this. So White Worm, I think, is going to help Rhaenyra probably more than anybody else currently that's in that little up at Dragonstone. But I am curious if Rhaenyra feels like she should name like a hand of the queen. We're going to get that.
Yeah, who would it be?
I don't know at this point.
It would have been Rhaenys until this point, but now I don't know.
Do you go Rhaenys' husband? Corlys?
What's it?
Corlys Velaryon? He might not want that shit. But although, like, he's gonna go one of two ways, right? Like, so his wife just died.
Or do you go Baela?
I like Baela a lot, but that might be too, I don't know if that's the right role for Baela. I get
She was kicking ass in the beginning.
I think do we get another big dragon fight coming?
It's gotta come.
You gotta unleash the rest of the dragons.
Yeah. Because at the time of Game of Thrones starts, there were none, right? So they all gotta go.
Well, does the Mad King, now this is for the people maybe in the chat who have read the books.
Yeah.
Did the Mad King take over with a dragon and then ultimately his dragon died, and then he like killed all the dragons? Because like clearly we like when we pick up Game of Thrones, they're still in the aftermath of the Mad King. And so there was a Targaryen on the throne, right? It was Daenerys' dad. So for him to be on the throne, I assume he got it with dragons.
And was he was the Mad King, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ares.
I think he had a dragon.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's what I'm saying. And then his must have died out, and then he was like, all right, whatever. And then that's when Jaime Lannister killed him, and then Robert Baratheon took over, and then on we go.
Yeah, and then it was like some years before, and they didn't have eggs, and then they got from the Dothraki, they got an egg, right?
Yeah, and then Daenerys had him, and she went through the whole fire thing. That was sick.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
From Steve in the chat, if I were Rhaenyra's counsel, my first order of duty would be to assign a team to keep tabs on Vhagar at all times, so that kind of surprise never happens again. Great point, because he seems like
that's the hoss. Yeah,
he is the big hoss in this thing.
Yep.
And I mean, now you got to take a look. And Daemon's dragon is decent size, but Daemon's not on your team anymore.
Yeah,
right? Like
who knows whose team he's on at this point?
I think Daemon's I think you alluded to it. I think Daemon's probably on his own team.
Yeah.
So in like this, like a couple of nights, if you're Rhaenyra, you basically lost Daemon, his dragon, Rhaenys, and Meleys, and where do you go from there? Because those were two of your bigger dragons and your two most experienced dragon riders.
Yes,
and a guy who's like relatively comely
for the most part.
He's like some nights, some days he's comely.
What is comely like above a 7? You think?
Has to be 8.5.
Well, there's like homely and comely, and they mean two different things.
Are those the is that the opposites? Homely. Oh, that guy's homely. Is he comely?
Homely is unattractive. Yes.
Comely.
With homely and comely.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's pretty good.
I love this.
In my past,
homely describes someone who's plain or unattractive, like your homely Aunt Agnes or her squished face bulldog is the
little bulldog. Like a little bulldog. Yeah, Jason in the chat, White Worm all over this stuff. So White Worm's cooking something up. And right now, too, if White Worm is on one team and Clubfoot's on the other, I could be wrong. Maybe I'm gullible. I feel like White Worm actually she's going to be like looking out for Rhaenyra, whereas like Clubfoot's clearly not looking out for Alicent. He's like Littlefinger. He's trying to figure out like, all right, who's going to be out on top, and like maybe I'll even be on top.
But to what end? Like, does he like, you know what I mean? I think, with Littlefinger and with Varys, it was always like, who could help me more?
Yep.
And I don't know really what
he likes
Strong's. I don't know what his like to what end is he doing this?
He is a curious character, considering like his family also hates him, right? Because like
everyone hates him.
The dude that we loved was like, well, like your son or your nephew or whatever is like in the. He's like, we hate that guy.
He's like, fuck that guy. Yeah. Like it was just like he in name only, like he's a strong like in name only or something. Yeah.
All right. Any final thoughts or questions in the chat? You can hit us up here right now.
Yeah, for sure.
Those. But yeah, I think it is the red dragon and the gold. And to me, the best episode of House of the Dragon, definitely this season. I would say overall, and I like the first season quite a bit.
It just got really good. All this build up, and then we're like, how they're going to pay this off, and then they did it, and so I'm very impressed with that. The show.
All right, Luke S in the chat. What if Larys becomes the guy that gets all the people to turn on the dragons?
Could happen if he's the one who's just like, these people have dragons, like fuck them, like they think they have all the power. Then everyone turns on the Targaryens. That could happen.
Right now,
but that doesn't happen for like 100 years, right?
It's not going to happen for a while. I just think just because you say like you need those dragon guns, remember that they had like those big like spears or whatever. You need those, and if you don't have those, you're just porked. And right now, it feels like it's going to be a 3-way for the title. This is going to be a triple threat match going forward.
Money in the Bank.
This is going to be Money in the Bank, triple threat. And they all have dragons. Like they all have dragons. So I don't know what to. We got to do a dragon count. That's probably what we should do between now and the next episode, because we just lost 2 dragons, right? Because Aegon's dragon's dead. Looks like. Yep. It was a mess.
What a mess. It was not breathing very well. Got his chest torn out.
Yeah, unless there's dragon doctors out there, they're gonna patch him up. I don't
think so. Yeah, and no Maester's gonna patch that thing up.
He's fucked.
I love when they hit the ground, they explode too. I think that was a nice touch.
Whew. And do they bleed black blood?
It looked like it, and they were like, "That was burning guys too." Remember, like, was it Vhagar who got cut, and, like, flew down, and like it was like on guys, and it was like burning them.
Yeah, do you like a dragon with like a little tiny head and like a big snake neck, or do you like a dragon that's got like a big head, or do you like a dragon that's got like a turkey gullet?
Well, I'm not going to split hairs here, but those are actually wyverns that they're flying and not dragons. I don't want to. I don't want to be a dick.
That's why you're here.
That's why I'm here, just to tell you that like dragons with 4 feet and wings, those are dragons with wings and 2 feet, and the hands are like wings.
Yeah,
those are wyverns.
Vhagar's also got fucking like bat like wings. He's got holes in his wings.
Like how does like that doesn't sound.
I don't like that at all. I don't like that at all.
Wait, I think I'm right. Hang on. My wyvern versus dragon talk. I want to make sure that I'm correct.
All right, Hoff in the chat says Aegon ain't dead yet. Maybe.
He didn't.
Aegon's dead.
He should be, but I don't think, because he took his Valyrian steel dagger, and Aemon took Aegon's Valyrian steel dagger.
Well, it looked like Aemon, before Sir Criston Cole yelled to him, he was gonna like finish him off.
Yeah, because he pulled his sword out. Or was he putting it away?
See, I don't know. I don't know if he needs finishing off. Like I think he could be dead. Yeah. Oh, so they said that in the after show.
Said what in the after show?
That maybe he's dead, maybe he isn't.
Oh, God damn it.
Yeah, we don't know if he's dead. My guess is he is dead. But you're right, maybe he isn't.
Yeah, maybe he isn't.
Man.
Would you like to know? I'm looking at 6 forms of dragons right now.
Please do. Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have a photo? Is there photos of them?
Yes, hang on one second.
All right, if you want to post that, I can for the people in the YouTube chat. By the way, hit us up at Dork Podcast, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Yeah, go ahead.
Share screen.
Yep. Let me see if it pops up on my end.
Hang on one second. There you go, right here. It'll pop up on your end. It's small. You see it? This thing right here?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So hang on. I can make it a little bigger for you. I can zoom in on you.
All right. Look at all these fucking buttes.
So a worm is a dragon. It looks like a snake, basically like a big snake with a dragon head.
Yeah, sure.
A lindworm has 2 feet. What happened there? Has 2 feet and a dragon body. An amphitheater is a snake with no feet and wings. A drake is a 4-legged dragon with no wings. A dragon has 4 feet and wings, and a wyvern has 2 feet and 2 wings.
Or even the Romans or Greeks.
This isn't Roman or Greek stuff. This is medieval stuff.
Scotty or Scotty.
All right, so if you're looking at that, there's 6 different types of what the layman would refer to as dragons, even though dragon is one of the 6.
You like that drake looks pretty fierce though.
The drake looks like he could get after it. He's got a lot of upper body strength.
Yep.
The amphitheater seems like real kind of sprightly.
So it looks like a wyvern but no feet. So it has like a snake body with wings but no feet.
The worm doesn't even have wings?
No.
The worm's useless then.
I mean, it's like it's an ambush predator who lives in like a big hole or something.
Well, it's like a sarlacc,
basically, or like what do you call it?
You could like feed people to it.
Thing. Basilisk is a worm.
Yeah. So I mean, if you had one of those guys, you'd be like, all right, we got this.
And then the lindworm, it's got the 2 front feet and snake body, no wings. Yeah.
It says House of Wyvern didn't pull well with the focus group.
No, they probably didn't like that. Yeah.
So let's go dragon. Yeah, because ideally you want 4 legs and wings, right?
That's a dragon. Yeah, that's an actual dragon. Yeah.
Yeah, so some of these fucking things aren't dragons.
They're wyverns. They're all wyverns.
They're all wyverns?
Yeah.
Nobody has 4 legs?
I don't think so.
I'm trying to now we got to think.
House of the Wyverns doesn't sound as good.
House of the Wyverns, I think you're gonna have less interest in it overall.
Right.
But the one guy, but they can still run with the 2, right?
Yes. Yeah.
All right. Well, very good. Any final thoughts, Rye, on this incredible episode?
Like you said, top 10 of all time. This thing was awesome.
Loved it. We were curious too because it's only 8 episodes this season, so we're like, all right, is the mid-season finale kind of, if you will, going to be popping off? And it was,
and it do.
So we got 4 more episodes of this season of House of the Dragon. Next episode of #Dork, we're gonna come your way Tuesday night. The Bear, season 3.
Yeah, man.
So if you guys haven't seen The Bear, you got a couple of days to binge that bad boy, finish up or whatever. So we'll do The Bear. We'll do some spoiler-free stuff at the beginning if you haven't had a chance to get it through with it yet. But that'll be our next episode. Again, we're on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at Dork Podcast. We stream these bad boys live, youtube.com/Dork Podcast. Tell a friend, tell a dork. And Rye, promise me a million times over, you will never do another rule.
Yeah, man. No, I'm not going to promise you that. And we out. You just can't. This thing just popped. Cryptids of Texas.
Hold on. This thing's still
Bear
spinning
Cave
on my end.
Marble Falls. What is that? Are we still going?
Yeah, it's still spinning on my end. I clicked out. We should be out. What is this?
Behind the curtain here. This is all going to get cut. By the way.
End screen. It's just spinning. Son of a bitch.
Just spinning. What if I just jump out of here? Like bonus content, absolutely bonus content right now.
This is free. If it's on YouTube, it might be on YouTube.